Welcome back. You're still watching Morning Live here on SABC2. Now, the theme for Freedom Day this year is to reflect on the strides we've made in achieving the vision of a better life for all. 22 years on, we reflect on empowerment through entrepreneurship, SMME development, as well as education. Joining us in the studio is the Managing Director of SiMODiSA, Matsi Modise, and she's going to explain to us how youth entrepreneurship can be a better life for all. Good morning to you, May, and welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed for your time. Now, in 1994, what were the prospects of people classified as non-white to become successful entrepreneurs?
Probably very limited. Because, we didn't have something, a past to reflect on. I mean, if you look at before 1994, there were industrialists, there were entrepreneurs, but it was not integrated. It was not reflective of what South Africa is. And in 1994, we didn't know what's going to happen because now we have to create an inclusive economy. So hence then, since 1994, we've traveled a long journey. We've had to put in legislation such as BEE that some of the codes do allow to how does business integrate small businesses into value chain. So we've come a long way. 2-3 years ago, we there was a small business ministry that was put in place. So I think there is great prospects for South Africa. And, there are a lot of success stories that have come out of our country. You look at people like Adrian Gore that have created Discovery. I mean, this started as a small business. You look at Robbie Brozen, who started Nando's, which is now an international brand. He started as a small business, a small Portuguese corner cafe that we were all used to growing up. So there is a great cause and a great case for supporting small businesses because I know South Africa has a great emphasis on let us create jobs, but I believe that we need to create small businesses because right now that's what's going to create jobs in South Africa.
And you were telling me off air that small businesses are actually the ones that create more jobs.
Indeed. I mean, if you look now at what's happening to the economy, it's shrunk. If you look at what's happening now to big business in South Africa, they're under a lot of pressure to actually reduce jobs. So the small guy that's going to hire 5 people, that's going to hire 10 people, there's a ripple effect. Your ability to employ somebody means that they're able to take their families, their children to school. So, we have to employ, we have to support those guys that will employ and create employment. So there's a great cause in South Africa to really, how do we support small businesses? There's a lot of support from big business. The private sector and the public sector have put in structures to actually support small businesses. You look at enterprise and supply development, you look at the BEE points, you look at all the institutions that are in place to support small businesses. The only challenge is that it's not coordinated. There are a lot of institutions, there are a lot of people that are really trying to support small businesses and entrepreneurship, but we're kind of working in silos. Hence, it's not easy to measure what impact does a small business industry have in terms of creating those jobs. So that's why, our organization, SiMODiSA, is an industry association that is, aiming to be the golden thread that consolidates and coordinates the space so that we're able to monitor and evaluate and also measure the impact.
Now, talking about SiMODiSA, it was established to determine what can be done to overcome the barriers such as capital, amongst other issues. How far have you gone in this regard?
Well, there's a lot of, one of the key tendencies is to say that there's no access to funding in South Africa. Well, others would say that South Africa has a lot of money. It's just that, entrepreneurs and small businesses need to understand at what phase do I actually go and access money? Because if I just have an idea, it's a very risky thing for me to say, here's 10,000 rands, go now, play around with that idea, go now, start the small business, and you don't have much experience.
So are you referring to perhaps lack of knowledge as to, which avenues to explore?
Well, yes. The avenues are ample, but your ability to explore those avenues and knowing that these avenues are not going to actually give me money if I just have an idea. But if I've been in business and I've been trading for more than 3 years, yes, there are many institutions that would appreciate the fact that you have a track record and would actually then look into funding you. So, however, there is a huge gap in funding ideas in South Africa. Hence, that's why we're trying to, one of the things we do at SiMODiSA is promote the growth of venture capital, our ability to seed ideas and our ability to create, small ventures that are going to just take off.
Well, that's where we're going to leave it, Matsi. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much.
That's Matsi Modise. She is the Managing Director at SiMODiSA, talking about entrepreneurship here in South Africa since the dawn of democracy. Well, it's time to get your latest in sports as we say good morning to Valen. Valen, I hear